Hello and welcome to another episode. I am so excited to be here with you today. Happy New Year. And today I'm flying solo. I wanted to launch this year with a nice shift perspective to hook you up for the new year, for 2025, the start of a new quarter century. So I've been talking about that. I'm so excited for that chunk of time. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks about time in that way. I haven't seen too much of that. But I'm super excited to think about like, wow, the next quarter century, the next 25 years of my life, what might that look like? And so I want today's episode to touch on that a little bit. But before we dive into any of that, I want to address something that might be happening for you. This time of year is usually very challenging for people. We experience the winter blues. And so today I want to explore why we have that experience, 5 reasons why we experience the winter blues. And then I want to help you, hopefully, get over that and get ahead of it. If you're not experiencing that for yourself, but you have a tendency to, we want to get ahead of that. So I'm going to give you a ton of resources, ideas, suggestions, tactics, habits, all kinds of goodies to help you beat the winter blues or get ahead of the winter blues so that you could cruise for the rest of the month and set yourself up to have an amazing new year and launch a new quarter century the right way. So without further ado, let me dive in. So I'm going to mention 5 reasons why we usually experience the winter blues. So number 1 is the post-holiday blues. Now, what does that mean? I'm sure you could decide for that. It's pretty self-explanatory from just the phrase. But just to explain that a little bit more, during the past few months, for the past couple of months, we have been going to wrap up the year 2024, to end the year strong, to achieve our goals, to meet our deadlines, to wrap up work, whatever, in terms of achieving things. But then also our time got more squished with fitting in the holidays into the end of year crunch, whatever that experience is for you in terms of work or whatever, or business or whatever you have. And the holidays, as we know, we take time off. We have to do all of the preparations, all the anticipation, all the merriment, all the parties, all the things, all the entertaining, all the hosting, all the things that come along with the holidays. And our time gets really constricted. We have more demands, more things to do, and less time to do them in for work and business if we're taking time off. So it's like a really tough time. And then we're going at this really high speed for a few weeks, like more than 2 months leading up to Thanksgiving, and then, all of the holidays in the end of the year. And then comes the new year and everything ends. And that's tricky because going at that level of entertainment, excitement, time being filled with things and just all of the excitement and all the fun and all the activity, to then, and time off, to then go into the regular routine, and it's not so exciting potentially. That's a bit of a shock to our system, right? And then that's tricky in and of itself. So that's like number 1. So that excitement and that going back to a regular routine, that it might not be as exciting or as stimulating, right? So we're a stimulation-driven society here. So that's tricky. Like right off the bat, we're a little off. So that's reason number 1. Then we have the cold, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, the darker days, the shorter days, no sunlight. This is when people usually experience seasonal affective disorder. And just the winter blues are a thing. Some people do experience the seasonal depression. They're not feeling so good. The mood goes down. The shorter days, the lack of sunlight, all that stuff affects our chemistry, our brain, and our sleep, our circadian rhythm, all of the things. And we literally don't feel well. We're not well. It's not just like, I'm cranky because I'm going back to work and my routine is boring. We are literally not feeling well, right? Our body's not, our brain is not functioning optimally. Our body's not functioning optimally. Our mental health is not okay. So that's a lot right there to add. So that's the only reason too. And we already have a ton. So the lack of sunshine, the cold, we don't get the outdoor, the fresh air, the sunshine, the connection to nature, all of those things, unless we like to hang out outside in the cold. But most of us don't like that. And I raise my hand, especially me. So I understand this condition, right? It could take a toll if we don't do something about it, if we're not proactive about it, which I'm going to talk about and share all kinds of goodies on how to come back to all these things in part 2 of this presentation. So that it's a lot. So that was number 2. Then we go into reason number 3, the financial strain. Now, some people are really good at being minimalist, not spending a lot, sticking to a budget, but most people are not. And they really enjoy the holidays. They really love to treat their loved ones, themselves, take advantage of all the offers, all the sales, all the things. And that adds up the additional expenses of the holidays on potentially already a strained budget, if that's the case for you, or a strained financial situation. And even if it isn't, but you still spent a lot, that doesn't feel so good sometimes in January, right? So it's all fun and games when you're doing it, but then afterwards you're like, oh, what did I do? That was so much excess. And also something else that adds to the financial thing, even if you didn't go crazy with the gifting or the celebrating, sometimes you put things in place for the new year, right? So those are additional expenses, like joining a gym or whatever subscriptions or memberships you might buy, or getting coach, or whatever things you might do. That adds to that financial burden, or maybe you kick off whatever projects and things that carry a financial tag to them. So that's number 3, like you adding all this financial stress. So even if you have money, you might still be feeling this just because you spent a lot more than usual. Then reason number 4, and this one and the reason 5 are the ones that I love, because they are the ones that we could, well, I was going to say that you could really do something about, but you could do something about the other ones too. So, and I'm gonna actually show you what. But these are the ones that to me feel fun. The things that you want to put in place for this next 2 are the fun things that you could be proactive about and have fun with. And so let me just share what they are. So at first they might not sound fun, right? But just wait until I tell you the solutions, and they are fun. But so number 4 is unfulfilled New Year's resolutions. Now you might be saying, I don't even have resolutions. I don't do that. That's silly. Like, that's so old school. We don't do that. But you might have some kind of an idea of things that you want to start in the new year, some intentions, some new habits, and then come around this time of the month, and you didn't really stick with those intentions or with those ideas, with those air quotes goals, if you want to call them goals. Or things that you just wanted to try, new practices, new habits. You might have gotten strong for the first few days, coming off of that, like I was saying before, that momentum from the holidays. You're like, woohoo, and you put all these things in place, and you might be doing really well for a few days, and then the regular routine takes its hold, and you're back to like your usual, and you're not feeling so hot about that, because now it feels hopeless that whatever changes you wanted to make, you're off the path already. And you're beating yourself up potentially over that. And so you might feel discouraged, you're not making progress, or you already gave up on those things, and that doesn't feel so good. And then number 5 is lack of motivation. So with everything that we just talked about, it's very hard to feel motivated, to feel inspired, to feel the oomph to stick to whatever we want to do, or to even start the things that we want to start, or just even have the energy to do the regular life, right? Because all these things could take a toll. And so we not feel so good. We're like, meh, right? We're barely moving around, or we're just drudging through our days. We're barely making it. And so what I want to do now is offer you a few things. I want to cover it into three different kind of areas on how to tackle all of that. So again, you could either beat the winter blues if you're already experiencing them, or get ahead of them and be preventative if you usually get them, or just in case this is the year that you happen to get them, so you don't get them, right? So you can get ahead of this. And let me throw another thing in there. And that is that you might be doing amazing. And then what I'm going to offer is going to help you do even better. All right. So as I go, I'm also going to share all the resources that I have in my repertoire of content in all of the places so that you could access additional support for yourself. Some of it is free, some of it is paid, very minimal. I'm going to show you how to get access, very, very accessible things so that you could have your own back and minimize the stress and get ahead of this thing. Okay, so number one is managing the feelings and your state. Now, there's a bunch of things that we could do here. Number one, let me just say that if you're really struggling and you're really feeling that seasonal affective disorder or depression, or you're really feeling down and blue, or you have a tendency to struggle with your mood, please get professional assistance. So you could go to therapy anywhere you want. Of course, we're here for you if that serves you. You could contact us through the contact page on our website, metrorelationship.com. We also have a Get Started tab there. We have some other things that you could check out on our website. If you need a deeper level of support, we're here for you. Please don't struggle on your own. It doesn't make sense. All right. Now, if you're not at the side of the spectrum and you just want more support, of course, you could always get professional support no matter where you are on the spectrum, right? We could always help you and have your back. But if you're really struggling, please definitely get support. So regardless of where you're on the spectrum, all the things that I'm going to offer you will serve you. So number one, we want to make sure that we are nurturing ourselves, that we're doing self-regulation. Our mood is going to be really out of whack because of the seasonal experience and everything else that I mentioned. Less dopamine, less excitement, less all of the things, different routine, everything. And so we want to make sure that we self-regulate, we self-soothe. So whatever that means for you, there is a ton of different resources and techniques that we could apply here. A few off the top of my head that will support you is doing things that give you joy, journaling, meditation, deep breathing, EFT, emotional freedom technique, like the tapping when you just tap, right? This regulates your nervous system. You can find all these resources online, also on our website. Check out the blog, metrorelationship.com/blog. I have a lot of articles there on different things to support you. You could even journaling, deep breathing, mindfulness practices, gratitude practice, things of that nature, reducing screen time. That will continue to mess with you, okay? Being kind to yourself, having compassion with yourself, for yourself. Focus on things that you can control. You can't control the weather. You can't control whether it's snowing, how cold it is, but you can control how cute you look. Wear that cute scarf, wear warm clothing, right? Carry your mug with a nice hot coffee, get your Starbucks, whatever. Like all the things that you feel like you're nourishing yourself and you have your own back and you're taking care of yourself. These are very basic things, but we lose sight of these things when we're not feeling well, right? So just take some notes and start putting these things back in place for yourself so you have your own back and you take care of yourself. Your future self will appreciate you and thank you. Now, those are just very, very basic. Then we go into your beliefs, your thoughts, right? What are you telling yourself? Are you beating yourself up in terms of, I'm a dummy, I can't stick to my intentions, my resolutions, whatever. I have no goals. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. This year's kicking my butt. It's too cold. I hate this. I'm too depressed. I'm not motivated. I don't know what to do. Whatever things you're telling yourself, and those are just some basic ones, you could go even darker, is catching that for yourself, giving yourself a little pep talk, telling yourself it's okay, that you are figuring it out. You have your own back. You're going to get yourself support if you need it. And you're going to put the things in place that will have your back and nourish you. I'm going to say a few more in a second. And I know that when we are not feeling well, that's even hard to do these basic things. I get it, right? And so some of the things that you might be experiencing is like feeling discouraged, feeling guilt, feeling fear of being judged. You're not asking for help or going for help because there's stigma around that. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Like, I should just tough it out. Right? Like that kind of stuff. There's an inertia to getting started, to getting moving, to putting the things in place. I get it. I understand. It's hard to break that cycle of like just getting going and putting the things in place. You feel paralyzed, like the whole new year ahead of time. And I'm throwing in there a quarter of a century. That's even worse. Like, well, what the heck, right? Like, oh my gosh, I don't know what the heck I'm doing tomorrow. Never mind 25 years from now, how I want my 25 years to look like. I get it. Okay. Those things are to be inspirational. Just take a bird's eye view of things, and you're not supposed to plan the next 25 years, but just kind of like thinking ahead. And I'm going to say more about that in a second. It's supposed to be inspiring, not overwhelming and scary. And so I get that those feelings and that experience is there, and to even do the things that take care of yourself might feel like too much and that you can't. So I'm going to show you what to do about that in a second. I just want to give you some more things to do first, and then I'm going to show you how to go about doing it. Some things that might help is like going back to whatever hobbies and interests you might have. Your friend group, making sure that you have some connections there that you're putting in place, that your networks, your people, your family, your friends, like you have something on a recurring basis, so you build that connection need that gets the whole nervous system and the whole thing that's out of whack realigned and settled down, right? So that's another way to self-soothe and co-regulate. Setting boundaries. If you feel like anything that feels like too much, figure out how to do a smaller dose of it, or putting on pause, or addressing it so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And then, of course, the food, the movement, the sleep, the hydration. Again, very basic, and again, they go out the window usually. So get the nourishing food, get a little bit of movement, find a consistent sleep schedule. We've been off for a little while, and therefore maybe staying up later, getting up later. We're a little out of whack. So just getting back into a rhythm of good sleep. Those basic things like nourishment, sleep, hydration, and movement, a little exercise, those will help you with your chemistry, right? With your brain chemistry, all your neurotransmitters, like all the things that make you feel good, so that we start getting ahead of whatever the funky chemistry is doing. And then you might want to add things like vitamin D, melatonin, and light therapy. There are also things like grounding mats that you kind of get the nature dose in the fake way. You put your feet on that, and it mimics the feel of being in nature. I believe the way it works is that it gives you the opposite charge. We have a tendency to be loaded, I think, in a negative charge, and when you go on the mat, it gives you the positive charge. So it helps you. Your magnetics in your body, that things that might make you feel off, get realigned. That was not very good science, guys. Sorry. But you can look it up for yourself and see what that, the research behind that, how it works, and something else to check out. So the light therapy might be a very good source of, like, you get the fake sunlight, and the grounding mat, you get the fake nature. So those two things, the fake grass. So those two things might be really helpful to help the body kind of like realign and recharge and nourish itself. Okay. Let's see. Did I give you all the ones that I wanted to give you? Meditation, of course, is in there. Okay. So I gave you a bunch of ideas on how to manage your feelings and manage yourself, so you get ahead of the seasonal affective disorder, any depression, any blues, any winter blues, or anything that's making your body feel off and out of whack, and then you don't feel well, okay? Physically, mentally, emotionally, all the things. Now, I also mentioned that I get that it might be hard to do these things. Like, you're giving me more things to do. I can't even do the base, like even just getting up and going to work, or taking care of the kids or whatever. And so the tip and the trick and the hack for that is everything in a measured manner. You're not going to overhaul your whole life. If you're not feeling well, be very, very gentle. This is the key. Okay. So out of everything that I mentioned, you might want to rewind this, go back and make a list, and then say, okay. And by the way, there's 3 groups of things there. One is like kind of like the more mental, emotional, and the other one's more physical, and the other one's more social and fun, right? So you could sort them by those 3 categories. I should have probably spoke them that way, share them with you that way. But just if you go back to the list, you'll see. And then look at that and feel into which one resonates the most. Like, what would feel really yummy to me? Like, what would nourish me? Do I need to do the physical things? Do I need to like eat healthy food, take my supplements, all those vitamin D, melatonin, light therapy, the grounding thing, like that kind of stuff, the sleep? Or do I need to do more of the emotional things like the mindfulness, the meditation, the journaling, the EFT? Or do I need to do more of like the fun and just kind of like get me going, motivate me things like the hobbies, the hanging out with people, the being in groups and connecting with others, right? So those are the three groups. So just kind of make the list, see what group talks to you the most, where you feel that you need it. You may need all of it. And again, don't overdo it. Don't try to do all of the things that I said. Pick what feels the easiest, that will give you the most bang for your buck, if you may, for your investment, for your effort. And just sprinkle a couple of things so you start recharging, realigning, nourishing, and you could start getting your system back on gear, back restarted, reset, realigned. So this part one with all the stuff that I just mentioned will resource you so you could tackle the next two that I'm going to give you. So with that, sprinkle some things in, be very gentle, go easy, and start resourcing. Get the machine going again, if you may. Realign, resource, reset, renew, recharge, all the re's. And that will get you back on track, back to yourself, back on the right path. Again, if you're struggling, if you can't do this, and even if you're not feeling like so at the other side of the spectrum where like you're really, really depressed, but even all of this sounds like, oh gosh, I can't even, like I just don't have it in me. Even that level of not feeling so hot, please get support. Okay. There's no need to struggle, and we want to be preventative. We don't want that to get worse for yourself. Okay. So let me offer some resources, all the resources that I have on all of my places that could help you additionally with this. If you're like right now, kind of consuming information like, oh, how do I take care of myself? I don't know what to do. And you're kind of like in that place and you need resources and you need to kind of get inspired and to get moving. I'm going to give you a few other things that you could use for that, or to actually go through very specifically to have your back and put things in place to have your back. Okay. So these are the resources. Go to my website, metrorelationship.com/resources, and go to December and January, and you're going to get the planning, the end of year and new year planning process. That's the December one. And the other one for January is values. Those two things will give you inspiration, motivation, and help you do what I'm going to say next. Okay, so just hang in there. If you're like, oh, I can't do more things, just take a note, right? They will become handy when you need them. So those are free. You just subscribe and you get a nice downloadable. It's very easy, very fun to use, and you get like an email with all the instructions. It's fun and easy and motivating and inspiring, and just I got you. Okay, so get those. If you feel like I have no idea how to nourish myself, the things that you said are fine, Emma, but like, they're so basic, I don't know what to do, then check out the Self-Love Practice podcast episode that I did last January. That's episode 8 in the podcast. So go to the website, metrorelationship.com/podcast, and go back, scroll back to find episode 8. That one goes into like in depth about all the ways that you could implement a self-love practice. So if you're doing okay and you want to take it to the next level, that one's for you. Let's see, what else do I got? Then we have, if you're like in the middle of the way somewhere, we have a video on YouTube that we recently put up in the Connection Talk playlist. And it talks about 10 things to kind of shift your mindset if you're kind of feeling stuck and you're grinding a little bit and you're like not here, not there, and you just can't have your own back and you're like floundering around a little bit, but you're not totally depressed, you're not totally motivated, you're like, then that one might be really helpful, because I just give you a bunch of different ways of looking at things that will help you kind of reset, okay? And some practicals on what things to implement to have your back so you could get back on track and get moving. Then I'm going to share something else that's paid in a second. And again, very accessible, okay, very, very reasonable. So I'll tell you in a second what that one is. But so let me go back to the solutions. We did one already, which is like the self-management in the feelings, managing your feelings. Now I'm going to give you number 2. Now this one is address your financial goals. If the finances are stressing you out, then do something about them, okay? And I'm not trying to be a jerk, so just bear with me here. Now, that's very hard to do, what I just said, if you didn't do one, okay? So please resource yourself. So then, like, your brain is functioning better, you're resourcing yourself, your ideas start coming up, you have the motivation, you have the energy, your brain is thinking again, right? And then you could do this one. Now, with this, it doesn't have to be a crazy goal planning session around finances, but you could come up with a little bit of a plan in terms of managing that stress. Like, what is the thing? Did you get yourself into a lot of debt? Whatever the thing might be for you. Then what is the plan? What are you cutting out? What are you adding in? How are you saving? What are you streamlining? How are you shuffling money around? Or what is the plan to knock out this credit card debt? Or whatever your thing is. I'm not a financial advisor, so so that's just some quick ideas. But that's another suggestion. You could check out. You could consult with a financial advisor. There are plenty of free resources online for this, plenty of apps for this. If you need the support, or just design a quick little plan and put it in place and bam. All right, so that's number 2. And number 3, this is the fun one. Earlier, I said that reason number 4 and reason number 5 of the things that get you, that might be contributing to not feeling well, were my favorites, is because, and let me just name them again so it makes sense what I'm saying. Number 4 was unfulfilled New Year's resolutions or intentions. And number 5 was lack of motivation. So this one now, the solution I'm going to give you now, is going to address those. And this is where I usually have a lot of fun. And in my book, this is the fun one. And what this one has to do is with having a vision. Now, having a vision sounds so big, but think about what the issue was, right? Unfulfilled New Year's resolutions or intentions and lack of motivation. Aside from all the reasons that we talked about, like why, like your body and your head and your brain and your feelings and everything might be out of whack. Aside from that, usually what gets in the way is not having a clear vision, things that we're going for, and a way of getting there or getting them. And that's why we tend to get discombobulated, overwhelmed, lost, whatever, because we don't have a good strategy. We don't know how to get the things that we want. Okay. And so everything that I give you so far is to address the thing so that you're a resource, so that doesn't get in the way. We get the financial things out of the way, and then you could dive into this thing. And that is to have an idea of where you're going. It doesn't have to be a major planning session per se, but at least like, what is the thing that I would like to experience? Meaning, what flavor do I want my life to have? What do I want this quarter century to be like, or my life? Like, what do I want my life to be like, to feel like, to experience, to have accomplished, for it to be about? What do I want my human experience to be? So these are kind of like esoteric, kind of big questions. These are good things to wonder about because they give us meaning, they give us purpose, they give us guidance, guidelines, direction. They give us the roadmap, if you may, like we know where we're going. That's very important. Our brain doesn't like question marks and it doesn't like the unknown. If we give it instructions, then it goes to work for us. Okay, so we're shooting for that. We want that. And again, it doesn't have to be a crazy thing. It could just be like, oh, this way as opposed to this way. So create some kind of that. And I'm going to give you resources for this in a second, okay? So what kind of life do I want to have? And then more measurable things, like the things that I want to accomplish, experience, feel, be, become, have, get, whatever. Measurable. Right? So getting a raise, increasing revenue, hanging out with friends, nurturing a relationship, getting fit, some kind of financial goal, whatever the thing is. But I just mentioned a couple of things, you can make it more concrete, right? So connect more deeply with my partner by having couple time this many times a week, day night every week, every 2 weeks, once a month, this level of intimacy, this kind of fun, this type of collaboration, this type of fun, this kind of activities, quarterly staycations, vacations twice a year, whatever, right? So ways of connecting, feeling together, working together, creating your shared life together, having shared goals, hobbies, interests, activities, experiences. So just that. If I'm feeling blue, just thinking about that, automatically I'm feeling much better, right? Because that's the fun, that's the connection, that's the yummy, that's the meat, that's the content of our life. And relationships are super important. If you look it up, I have it in my stuff too, but I can't off the top of my head guide you to a specific blog post. But you can look it up, metrorelationship.com/blog, and do a quick search for meaning and research. And you would get research from experts that show how relationships are so important that you might already know this, and you could do your own research outside of my blog, of course. But how they help with health, with vitality, with longevity, with happiness, like just all the things that we usually shoot for in life, our relationship supports that. Or doesn't, right? So that's why we have to make sure that our relationship is healthy. But people that don't have relationships or have bad relationships have the opposite effect, right? They struggle, and their health, longevity, and well-being and happiness and everything else goes down the drain. We want to make sure our relationship is healthy. We want to get ourselves in good shape, our relationship in good shape. And then, of course, the things that we want to do in life. And so we have all of the resources for you for this. This is what we do. We help couples create a successful and radiant relationship. Now, I said I was going to share all the ways to have your own back here. So the quickest and easiest access, aside from all the free stuff that I already mentioned and all of the resources on my website and all of our socials, is our membership. We have a membership that's $29 a month, and you get all kinds of content to support you with all of these things. So for example, in December, we did a whole planning process. So it's like about an hour and 15 minutes or so of me walking you through the whole process so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So you could just, the whole planning process from top to bottom, from the celebrations and the acknowledgement to like implementation. So the whole thing is laid out for you in that. Just that one piece of content is worth a lot more than the $29. But with the $29 a month, you get access to all of the other content that we have that covers a whole gamut of wellness for yourself and relationship health. And then we have the January. The other one was an integration experience where I just mentioned that we did the whole planning process. For January, we're doing activating protocols. We've just launched that new feature. We're going to be doing those monthly. And the one for January walks you through identifying your highest potential in all areas of your life and designing your ideal life and designing it and getting started to make it happen and to put it in place. So once you start feeling a little bit more nourished and you're like, okay, let's go, right? That will help you. Like I walk you through, I hold your hand and we make it happen, and we design and implement and create the whole thing. We design it and put the things in place to help you start living it. And so just those two things, bam. If you want to come on only for 1 month to get access and benefit to that and then cancel and you're good, fabulous. You could do that. You could say 1 month, 3 months, whatever, for as long as you want to. You could use as much of the content as possible. We also have a live feature. So on a monthly basis, we're doing a get together in our online community. So you get to hang out with me and ask me questions, and I show you all the things to do, how to implement all the things that we're talking about for the month. We have monthly themes. So you have that live feature, you have the option of adding support sessions privately if you want, and you have all of the content. We have deep dives, workshops, masterclasses, integration experiences, activation protocols, all kinds of things to inspire you, motivate you, guide you, all the tools, all the things that you need to take care of yourself and take care of your relationship and create success in your life and create the life that you love. Okay, so $29 a month. not too shabby. So go right ahead. You can sign up for that, and you can cancel whenever you want, if you feel that you got enough. So that's the paid version. Of course, you could always work with us privately, and feel free to check out our website for that if that's what resonates and calls to you at this time. But that's it. I hooked you up with all kinds of things for today to get you out of the funk. And you have all kinds of resources, free and that paid membership if you want to take it to the next level. And I'm here for you. I am on a mission to help you succeed at yourself, at your relationship, and at your life. And I look forward to hearing from you. Let me know how you're doing. Connect with us in all of the places. You could email us through our website or connect with us on social. You could leave a message on this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you could also always leave us a comment. Let me know how you're doing. What are you working on? What resonated for you the most? And how are you feeling? I would love to hear how you're feeling. And how can I best support you? You have any suggestions or ideas for additional podcasts or any other piece of content? Let us know what you want, what you need, and we're here to serve. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, for being here with me, sharing time. Happy New Year. I'm wishing you the best, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Bye.